For 10 years, we had our highs and our lows. It was like a roller coaster ride. I mainly remember Jane in the good times we had together. And I admire the way she dealt with having breast cancer for so long.
I feel very lucky to have been given the opportunity to make a short film about my mum, because she was really one in a million. Outwardly, she was a very normal person who loved to read and she loved to listen to or to play music, but she was really so much more than that.
After she'd been given the bad news, she could cry about it to start with, and then after then she would go back to her normal life, looking after her children and looking after me.
Yeah, Mum was never a selfish person. She would do things for other people as well as herself, but it was mainly for other people and her family. And I remember talking to her once, sitting on her bed and talking to her, and she told me that everything she was doing was for the family, and that she would try any treatment possible just to have more time with us.
At no time throughout the treatment did she say, look, I've really had enough of this, I can't go on with this, I can't do it. Whatever treatments they had, whether they were just experimental or whether it was the latest thing, she would go through it and try it.
I don't think anybody could have done better or more with 10 years of illness, which she was determined to fight and determined to get on top of right to the end.
I was 3 years old when she was first diagnosed, obviously much too young to understand. But while I was growing up, there were times when I had to make allowances, and that might have just been not seeing my mum for days at a time at home, or just being taken into school a bit early. I feel I learnt a lot by watching what she went through and the way in which she did it. I learnt that a lot of good things can come out of a bad situation.
Even though there's a lot of sadness, there's still some good to be brought out of it. And I think Mum managed to show us that. And she gave us the best start possible in life. And I'd like to think that both of us have grown into the kind of person that Mum would have wanted.
Her positiveness certainly went through to, I think, the doctors and the staff at the hospital as well, and it's a sort of a two-way communication thing between the two, and the more positive she felt, the more positive they were, and the more positive they were, the stronger Jane become.
When I went with her to the Marsden Hospital, we had all those journeys together, and we talked and talked and talked all the time about books, about life, about films, television, all those things that were going on, and I shall never ever forget those times.
I remember one day when we were out in the town and Mum had a wig on. She used to have a wig or a bandana normally, and someone saw her and they just told her how well she was looking, and she really did. She just used to smile all the time.
Right to the very end, she thought more about other people than herself. I just think it was to say to me, you've been a wonderful husband, and she only had minutes to live. Rather than complain about her condition, her thoughts were for me rather than for herself. And I guess that would be my lasting memory.
She was one of those people who never stopped fighting. She was always so determined. She managed to have a massive influence on people's lives, people from all the way around the world. She would accept life with a smile, and I think I will always remember the way that she would often remind us to always be positive.